Hello, everybody. This is Nikolett, and I wanted to create this podcast episode about my weekend experience because something happened to me that changed so much for me, and all of my presumptions and all of my, like projections for the future has changed overnight, basically. So, a lot of you know that I am a CF for how long? 4 years now? Yeah, 4 years. I became a CF in 2020. But basically, I was creating bars classes and they went so well, right? Like the last class, we had 400 people and we always doubled or tripled. We just had like 27 people and then 50 and then 80 and then 100 and then 2 and then 3 and then now 4. We couldn't have more. Like we actually had almost 600 people signed up. It's just we had a waiting list, but we had only room for 400 people. And I had this idea in my head that I'm really good at creating bars classes, and I do love bars, honestly, and I love to teach bars. And I kind of had this resistance with foundation classes. If you don't know about these are all access consciousness classes. So the first class you can take is a bars class, which is a one-day class, and you come in class and you learn a really nice and cool technique where you touch the head and you release your stress. You can unwind your limitations and you can let go of so many things. Points of views, judgments, ideas about things, and everything that you butt into in your whole entire life. And it's basically a one-day event where you give the session and receive a session on the morning and then you do on the afternoon. But beyond all of this, you actually learn a lot of things, tools that you can use in your life. And I don't like to make things too complicated, so I usually use these tools to change anything or everything in my life. And I kind of do like one foundation in every year or maybe two. I just had this huge resistance. And many of my friends, they were asking me like, hey, are you BF? That means bars facilitator. I'm like, no, I'm actually a CF. So I'm allowed to have or do foundation classes, which is now a 3.5 days class. You learn a bunch of tools to change anything and everything, including your body, relationships, sex, business, and a lot more. And not just that, you learn a lot of tools and you learn 3 body processes basically, which are kind of like hands-on body processes that help you to change whatever is going on in your body. So it's called the foundation, and it's sent to change your foundation. And I learned over the years that I had those foundations from my parents and my country and from high school and other schools, and my life never worked. So I just kind of, as a sponge, went around and tried to, learn everything from other people, see how they create their lives, relationships, and so on. And that never worked for me. Like how my parents lived, it never worked for me. How other people create their relationships, it never worked for me. And every time I saw a relationship that I would say, oh, that's a good one, I like it, it didn't work for me either. Because I'm different, right? Like I'm a different person. And so my life wasn't working. And when I took my first bars class and the foundation class, I was like, okay, so what's next? Because all the foundation I have built my life upon was destroyed. And I got a new foundation, which was not that solid that my old foundation was. So it was like it was willing to move, be changed, and it could adapt to whatever was going on in my life. And so I basically had to build up myself again in a different way, though, in a way that I did not have to have an answer anymore. And that was the more frustrating thing for me after my foundation is like, I need to get to a point with this. I want to know, especially in relationships, is like, okay, are we a couple or not? That was my answer for that. And now I see everything in a really different way. So that's the gift of the class. So I had this class this weekend, and I'm a CF, so I can have it, I can do it, but I never do it. I do it once a year because that's necessary to keep your license, but beyond that, it wasn't my thing. And I heard it so many times before, but you got it when you got it, that everything that you resist would change your life the most, or everything you resist, you have a talent, or you have a capacity, or you have a gift. I was like, what gift? So every time I would have a foundation class, I would struggle with my body. I would be bloated and, water retention and pain in my body and just not being happy. Getting all these herpes all around my mouth and just not a happy person. And so 2 weeks before, prior to the class, I would feel like crap. In class, I would feel like crap. And I would hide in my room at lunch break, and after class, I would hide in my room. And then after class, I need 2 weeks off because I need to repair myself. And I just didn't like it. And so many friends of mine, they were just like, are you BF or CF? I'm like, so funny. They're like, why are you doing art classes? I'm like, I like them and I'm so successful. What do you want? They're like, yeah, but you're a CF. I'm like, I know. I just, I don't like those classes. I kind of don't like them. And so I was like, hey guys, I need to renew my license. So let's have a foundation class. And, I'm like, don't get a big venue though. Like, let's have 15 people and that's it. And my team got so excited that they can come to the class, and they were waiting for this for so long. And they got so excited that we got 65 people signing up, meaning it's include my staff and some other people that helped in class, but we had 55 people paying. From these people, we had only 2 people who repeated the class in a year. So everyone else were brand new. They never had a foundation class, and that was something really interesting. So we started the first night, and I kind of realized that, wow, that's not bad. It's not that bad. And what I was realizing more and more is like a lot more easy for me. It's easier for me to hold a class for a lot of people than for 2 or 3 or 15. And I know that about myself. So when I started the whole thing 6 years ago as a BF, I somehow had this inner sense that I need to talk to a lot of people. So somehow I stopped doing facilitations and one-on-ones, and I was keep going into the direction of talking to many people. So I had my membership, which is 4 years old now. Yeah, it's going to be 4 in March. Yeah, 1st of March. And what is interesting is that I create a recording for 4 years every single day. There's no Christmas, birthday, vacation. I do every single day. So the membership includes a recording for every day, one workshop a week with me, Q&As, workshops, VIP guests, and so on. So it's like a lot of content. And it's not like I'm getting to be like out of content. It's getting better and better every single day, every single month, and every single year. And because I'm doing this, and we have over 1,000 people in the membership, sometimes more, sometimes less. It's just the way it is. But because I'm practicing and I'm doing this for so long, I get the muscle. And, at the beginning I did for 15 people, and then 20, and then 30, and then it was just growing naturally. Sometimes it dropped and then it's increased. But if I just step back, what I see is the growth, because everything is growing. That's nature. If something is not growing, you gotta ask the question is like, what am I choosing? Or what am I, being that stops the growth of my business, of my relationship, of my life, of my money situation, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I learned with everything by this, that if something stops growing, I need to ask some questions around like, what is this? It's me. It's me who is stopping this growth. Because many of us, we are like, oh, something is wrong. Okay, universe, help me. Oh, and someone has to be guilty, but it's never you. And you're not guilty, by the way, but it's just, it's just things are growing by itself. So you don't have to push it. That's how it works. But every creation needs your energy. And if something is not growing, it's always you who is stopping it with your choices, with your, the space you be and what you are willing to be for that. And, my favorite questions are like, what can I change? What can I be? What can I do? What can I ask to change this? Like, what can I be? And actually, my favorite is what can I be? Because life is more about being than doing, but doing is necessary also. But for me is the space you be. The less judgment you have, the less projections and, presumptions you have about everything in your life, the most freedom you got. And as you be that, you have no limits in life. You can be and do everything you want. What, cut you off from everything you want is your point of view. Can you imagine a life where you ask for something and it shows up right away? I do think that this is how it works. It's just, so imagine asking for $1 million. What if the $1 million is right here in front of you? It's just you have a wall between you and that, and the wall is all of your points of views, why it's not possible, and all of your judgments. And if you can look at that, what is my point of view here? What is my judgment that cut me off from my asks, my desires? Then it's a different story. And so go back to my original story. So I had this class this weekend, and as we went on the next day and the third day, I was just realizing more and more how much I was just enjoying the whole thing. And what I realized was really interesting is that I didn't know that I can facilitate the way I did. And that was my biggest fear, that I'm not good enough. It's just people don't get the results that they should. But this time it was something different. And the difference was I was willing to be something that I was never willing to be before, is be willing to be whatever it takes to get the result. If it's necessary, you are not being nice, you can yell, you can laugh, you can cry, you can... And when people would ask a question from you and has no energy in it before, because it did not have the muscle, I would kind of go with that and, just go around and around and around. And now I was like, someone asked the question, I was like, hey, I'm like, no, this is not your question. What is your real question? They're like, oh, I don't know. So we opened the box, said, I don't know. And they had to pay $10 every time they said that. It was funny. And it was really funny, but at the same time, they were like, oh, it must be something else. And I didn't let them lie to me. I did not let them lie to me. But most importantly, I didn't let them lie to themselves. And we got to things that I never imagined before. We found limitations, stories, like abuse or you name it, that they never imagined that was the thing that was blocking them from having the life they desire. And people they were out of their minds. They were like, oh, what the fuck is this? And the second day was just like mind-blowing, honestly, also for myself. And as I realized that I have the muscle and that I'm willing to see something and I'm willing to be so present with everyone. I was not thinking about anything else but the person, meaning just being with them and being willing to just follow what they are in and what they want and what they are willing to change. And there were moments when people were just like, they wanted to fucking kill me. They wanted to just destroy me. But I was willing to receive that. And I was like, okay, that's fine too. I know you now want to kill me. And she was like, yeah. She says, I just want to throw the mic at you. I'm like, yeah, that's fine too. You can do that, by the way, if you want. And then she started laughing. And, I never saw anything else that can change so much in so short amount of time. And it's just something that it's kind of not describable. You have to experience that. And why am I creating this episode is just, if you are a facilitator or you're just getting started or you're just thinking of going on a class, I hope I can inspire you because, wow, what happened at the class, you can get that with, a 1-year therapy because you don't get to the point. And what you need to do with everything, you find the source that creates the limitation in your life. And when you find that, and many, many times, what you find is an energy. You can't even describe it. You can't, you don't have a word for it. Let me ask you a question, and that gives you an example. Please bring something that you desire to change in your life. It can be your body, it can be your relationship, it can be your money situation, your job, or whatever that or your housing, whatever you want to change. Just bring it here, get the energy of it, and what is that you try to avoid with this? What are you avoiding? with this? Let's say body problem or your money situation. So what are you avoiding and what are you defending with this? And many times when I ask these questions, you don't, maybe something comes to your mind, but what comes is just like, yeah, I'm avoiding something. I don't know what, but I'm avoiding something. So this is what we want. So you get the energy comes up. And when the energy comes up, you can clear it. And you can use the clearing statement, which is you can find on the theclearingstatement.com. And you can use it. You can hear Dr. Dane describing it for you, and you can make it short. The short version is pot and pock. So if you're interested, just listen and you can just use it. Think about it just like a magic wand. When you have a limitation in place, then you just swing your magic wand and then you can change it. But what you need to do is find the source, like find the point of creation of every limitation that you have in your life. So bring another thing. And let me ask you, the question is like, okay, so let's bring a money story that you have. Okay. What are you avoiding with this money problem? And what are you defending with this money problem? And everything that is pot and pock. So easy. And every time you have something going on and you want to change it, just bring the energy up. Like, what is causing the whole thing? And this is what the foundation does. I mean, it does many things, not just that. But what is cool about that is it brings up so many energies that is hidden, that you would never find with anything else. Ever. It would be there. You would hide it from yourself because you decided that you have to. You feel the shame, so you do. Or you're like, I can't handle this. So you just put it down here and no one knows. I don't even know. Let's forget about that. Let's move on. And then it keeps taking you back where you started. And you're like, it's almost there. I'm almost there. And you always go down again. So if you want to find those creation points, you have to bring the energy up with the question or something. Okay, what am I choosing here that creating this? What am I, not willing to be that causing this? Or it's just so many questions that we use at the foundation class. So all of these are just amazing, and even beyond that, amazing. And thank you for all of you listening. And if you like this, just send me an email to hello@nikolett.com. And just, if I would know that you're listening and you want more, and if there is anything that you want me to talk about, just send me your recommendations. I'm happy to talk about any kind of topics, money, relationships, buddies, and so on. So I would create more content in English. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful